The billing issue, and I really want to make certain that everybody understands the implications of this, because this is not something I can negotiate. I cannot bill the broker or the realtor. I think the cost at that point in time would be a barrier to entry. At the same time, I can't have a staff that has to handle hundreds of inquiries on the billing. I just can't do that. So for this to work, local board and MLS has got to assume the billing role. So if you're thinking about whether or not you really want to do this, that's on your shoulders. Now, if there's incremental cost associated with that, perfectly appropriate to pass it on. I mean, if this is $2 a listing to the broker, and when you look at your cost model and you have to add 25 cents on there, whatever, I'd support that in a heartbeat, because that's your incremental cost. But the local billing has got to be local billing. And again, just as a recap for the young lady in the back mentioned, it makes no difference to me whether it's a monthly bill, a quarterly bill, or an annual bill. It makes no difference at all. You know the way I take the snapshot on the system against the unit of measure, so there's flexibility there. I'd like to talk about pricing now, and to maybe encourage some thoughts about packaging and how you might package it. If you remember in the document that DB distributed on page 7, it talked about under point B, actually B21, it talked about the percents of listings leading up to the 100% target, and also talked about a per quarter charge. And we have reworked both those percent of listings and per quarter charge, frankly, to break it down to a monthly component. It could all be aggregated back up to a quarterly if you'd like, or an annual, but break it down to a monthly component. Also to include the picture, our discussion earlier that start with the picture, encourage the picture, but if the picture's not important, then you could always fall back for any individual listing to just the listing date itself and not the picture. And then to take a look at the percents and reconfigure the percent. So what I want to put up now to discuss with you is the following. To show you where our head is after discussions and reading your notes and questions and comments back as to what might be workable for the Colorado story. Again, this is summarization of the feedback that and questions that we have received. And this is at the MLS level, not at the broker level. But to target still 100%. But don't put a penalty on if you don't hit 100%. But to target 100% of the listings. And recognize that you're probably not going to hit that because of a lot of the things we've talked about earlier on. But to have kind of a gentleman's or, well, person-to-person agreement that says that says we really want to try to get 70%. And I don't know what the right critical mass is in all of our market areas to flip it over where it becomes viable to the consumer. But my sense is, you know, one gentleman here said 2/3 earlier, and I've heard 50%, and I've heard 90%, and 80%, and so a lot of the feedback I got was healthy. But my sense is it's got to be somewhere around here. And if you shoot for this, you know, you got 30% here you can play with, and that includes a lot of the contractual issues. That includes maybe duplicates, things you want to wash out and scrub. I mean, a lot of ways we can play around with that. But base it on a 70% number. But say if you don't hit 70%, you can still play in the ball game. But I am going to put an arbitrary ceiling on it that says if you can't commit, either yourselves or in conjunction with your broker, at least a minimum of 25% of all the listings, active listings you have, I'm going to make a suggest that you pass this time. And we revisit the issue later on when it becomes more timely for you. Because I think we will create the wrong image by going to the customer and saying this is the place to go for real estate information with all the hoopla we're going to do, and not have even a good chunk of the basic listings out there. So I'm gonna hang tough on this one, folks. So if this is a showstopper, I still want your business on RIN. I hope we can have a lot of fun with the other things, but take a pass on the listing side. The next exhibit talks about some of the other item pricing that pertain to the whole RIN system, and again by way of positioning, the what we spent most of the last hour and a half talking about are the online system here, okay? And we also talked about the upfront cost, the $250,000, which I've got a piece and the state has a piece. Now, what about all the rest of this stuff and how you get access to it? There are absolutely no upfront charges for any of the rest of this stuff. It just doesn't exist. You now go to a per usage charge if you decide you want to use it. And that's what we want to talk about now. What does it take for me as a, and I'm going to just use the word user, and that could be staff, elected official, realtor, broker. What is it going to take for me to get in and use all this stuff here? I can already get up here through internet, through America Online, CompuServe. I do not have to be on RIN as a realtor to get up here. My listings are going to be inputted for me, okay? So I don't have to be on RIN to get up here. It's going to be nice that while I'm on RIN, I can do this as well, okay? So just keep that in mind. So when we start talking about these individual usage items, connect fees, if you implement this, there's no gun to the head to the realtor to ever sign on RIN to go after this, just so we, is that clear to everybody? Okay. So what do these line items look like to get to the user? First of all, there's a one-time software fee of $738 per realtor. I just want to see if you were here. Okay.
Membership just dropped.
Yeah. Everybody's closing their briefcases. We're looking for commitments today. Okay. Basically, there is a license fee, and this is for the desktop. Okay, and then there's an access fee. This is one time. This is per year. And then there's a connect fee. Okay? And let me put some meat on the bones of these individual fees. The license fee in the proposal that we submitted to you is, can I find the page it's on? Proposal here. Page 8 is on page 8 in the proposal, and that license fee is calls for a $29.95 price up here. So that says that anybody that wants the little disc that has the RIN desktop software pays $29.95 for that disc. In addition to that, there's an access fee, and this is $19.95. Oops. And that's an annual fee. And I'll come back to that. And then there's a connect fee, and the package we have put together now is $15.95 a month. That's 2 hours of connect time included. And every hour above that is $8 an hour, so above. Okay. Let me go to a desktop license fee. We have this in the proposal to you all as a fee of $29. And I made a strong case in this proposal that says it's an opportunity for you to buy it in volume and wholesale it back to the broker or MLS. I would like you to consider something that goes along the following lines, that there is absolutely no charge for this desktop. I don't charge you, you don't charge the user. And since I want to stress partnership, I don't want to make that a unilateral statement, because if I do that, there's no business opportunity for the MLSs here. I need to talk to you about this, but what I'm trying to do is to reduce any barrier to entry that I can to someone signing on and using this system. You see, we've talked about the electronic advertising a long time, and there's a lot of business opportunities there for us, enormous business opportunities. But that hasn't cost the realtor $15 a month or a $20 or a $30 one-time charge. That's a charge associated with a listing which they're probably paying some cents for now in terms of advertising or some other way, but that's a way of doing business. It's not a barrier to entry. This now becomes a barrier to get on the system. What I would like to do is distribute thousands of these desktops to any realtor that wants to get on the system, period. Now, we have to have an access charge because I have to have some form of fees coming to RIN. I mean, everything we're doing, we're ratcheting down pretty close to zero because I'm not a profit center. There has to be something to, you know, I'd like to take a paycheck home and so with the rest of these guys sitting over here. So our sense right now coming out of the chute is we're going to do a $19.95 a year access fee. If I hit the volume numbers I need, I'm going to be able to collapse this fee significantly. You know, if I've got a 500,000 realtors doing this, I can collapse this fee significantly. But right now I don't.